Alright guys, next step is to build this eyebrow. Plans say it comes out 4 feet. So 4 feet out, it'll be a 6/12 pitch. I laid my steel out on this side, and what I wanted is, this door is 12 foot wide, so I wanted it to be basically 15 inches outside the edge on each one. But on this side, I'm gonna have to come 16 inches so that I don't have a rib right on the corner, so no one will notice, which actually works perfect because I cut all these 2x6s. So one's a fascia, and then one is my bottom connection board, and one is my top. So I'll add 1/2 inch plywood to the sides to put flat stock, so it'll actually work perfect because that'll bump me out 1 inch, and no one will ever notice. And that way I won't have this weird rib right on the corner. This is gonna be 2 foot on center rafters, sub rafters, and then this has got a header across here and headers across there, so this will all get screwed, structurally screwed up there, and it'll be good and strong. Delta sent me this new 10-inch compound miter saw, and I just unboxed it. Gonna use it here in a minute. And first glance is it looks pretty sweet. It's so smooth, just so smooth. So we're gonna go ahead and get this set up, and I'm gonna cut some boards with it today, and then at a later time we'll go over all the features and stuff like that, because I'm sure there's a lot that I don't even know of. I'm gonna have to kind of figure it out. Probably set this up in my shop and have like a window box making station and stuff like that. It's got the largest cutting capacity of a 10-inch saw. I'm pretty pumped about it. My initial thoughts, it's so smooth, man. Like so smooth. So we're gonna try this out here in just a couple minutes. Pretty pumped about it. I got it hooked up to my Anker Solix 3800 for power. I just got off the phone with the client. So I looked at the plans. The plans called for a 4 foot eyebrow. But looking at the space, and sometimes you'll have this, I kind of laid it out, and I just feel like 4 foot is going to be overpowering for this area. I mean, obviously I've done this a lot, so I kind of have an eye for it. But as you start to make something, you have to kind of figure out, hey, is this going to look good or is it going to look goofy? So we're going to go ahead and get this thing made so I can mass produce all of my sub rafters. What I'm going to do is I'm going to screw this thing all together, and then I think I'm going to get my skid steer in here and lift it up there and fasten it up. Just laid out our rafter spacing, and I used my boss hammer to mark all my lines because I can cover over 12 inches with this thing as a squaring tool. So I got all that laid out. Now I can count how many we need. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We need 9 rafters and sub rafters, so I'm gonna get cutting. Alright, as you can see, I've made the bottom part of this eyebrow. You can see it's pretty beefy. The roof pitch is 6/12, so it matches the house. So what I've done is I've got the bottom box made. I've got my top 2x6 that will get structural screws through it into the header. I've got my layout all made. Now what I need to do is I want to cut rafters. The rafters need to die right here, but then they need to come down and I want them to tie into this, but I want them high enough that it'll let my plywood come down and land right on this edge. So what I've done is just taken a simple string line so that I can check my measurements and my calculations to make sure they're exactly right. Some people say, well, you're not a real tradesman if you just don't use math to do this. And it's like, I got this simple string line. It's a straight line. It's exactly where I want the top of my rafter to be and to land. So now all I have to do, I know this is a 6/12 pitch. All I have to do is measure from there down to where my string line intercepts up above here, and then I know my OSB is going to land perfectly. I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then we're going to cut all these and get them installed, and then I'm going to have to lift this up with the skid steer. Alright, so 6/12 is 26.5 degrees. I'm going to go ahead and cut that. .31 7/8. So we're going to go ahead, and I cut that a touch long. You can always cut it down a little bit more. So we'll go do a test fit and see how I like it. That's gonna go, I mean, I think I'm pretty darn good right there. So now I can mass produce these. I need to make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then I know these will all end up exactly the way I want them to. And what I wanted is I wanted this to be screwed in here. I wanted it to be screwed into the fascia board, but sit up high enough that when I put my plywood or OSB on, that it comes right over and lands right on this edge like it's supposed to. So I'm gonna go ahead and make 8 more of these, and we'll get them all installed. I'm struggling with camera today. I'm not 100% sure I got me cutting those, but I've got all of these rafters cut, and I'm gonna patch them on to the sides. So I want this to be good and strong. So there's step 1 for this eyebrow. I ended up making it, I called the client, I ended up settling on 32 inches. 6/12 roof pitch, so it rises 14 inches. And I think just with this space that we have, it'll look the most aesthetically pleasing. So step 1 is done. I've completed the actual frame. Now we're going to go up there, snap a line where I want it to go. We'll get it fastened to the headers, and then I will show you how we can really beef this up. So typically, if I had space where I could go run one of these rafters through and tie it to a post, I would. Wherever there is a post, I will run really long structural lags in there. If you need to, you could always put vertical 2x4s in between your girts and run lags all the way through into those. I'm going to see how this is. I'm going to have 3 posts that I'm going to be able to run long structural screws into, plus continuous 2x12 header across the top that this is going to get fastened to, and across the bottom. We should be pretty good to go. Alright guys, so we've got this good and secured. We have 3/8 by 5-inch lags all the way across that top and all the way across the bottom. And that's strong enough. All the sub rafters and rafters are screwed in from both sides. And then at all of our column locations, we're running 6-inch structural lags through this bottom and up here. And that will really, really strengthen that up at the column locations. So we have have 3 columns. We have one here, stub column here, and then we have the column there. So this should be good and strong. We shouldn't have a problem with this ever sagging or anything like that. All right guys, so the last and final step to finish up the framing of this eyebrow is to add OSB. I add 1/2 inch and then put the synthetic underlayment down so that I can then attach my metal to it later. That is going to be a wrap on today's video, guys. I get lots of questions on how to frame up an eyebrow. Hopefully this was helpful. If you guys want more information about Mr. Post Frame, check out our website, www.mrpostframe.com. As always, we appreciate you watching. Hit that subscribe button, share with your friends, and we will catch you on the next video.